Everyone probably knows what a vampire is. However, there are some differences between vampires of different universes. Let me tell you more about those from the world of The Witcher. If you enjoy our content, consider subscribing to the channel. Leave ideas for future videos in the comments down below. A vampire is a general concept for a collection of beings that feed on human blood. Interestingly, this is already a wrong statement because not all vampires consider human blood as the main component of their diet. For higher vampires, blood is a drink similar to alcohol, and the effects of excessive drinking are similar to those of a human. Vampires are not undead. These beings came into the world with the conjunction of the spheres. That is, they are not mutated corpses or modified creatures, but beings from another dimension, a separate race. There is no other way to become one of them than to be born as one. Another frequently repeated myth is that sunlight hurts on, in extreme cases, literally burns the vampire, when in fact some vampires have already adapted to the conditions of the new world. It is true that the sun can still cause some pain and discomfort, but it is something they are ready to face to defeat their opponent. A similar superstition applies to holy water, devotionals, and garlic, which is stubbornly used by the peasants. Lubrication with garlic, except for the all-encompassing stench, does not change anything. It is true, however, that vampires do not cast shadows, and their reflections are not seen in any mirrors. Somehow this fact has survived among all the rest of the nonsense superstitions. Vampires also have regenerative abilities, but these depend on the overall strength, both physical and mental, of a given individual. For some, cutting off their head may not mean much, and others will lick their wounds for a long time after a simple cut of a silver sword. These traits are common to all species, but beyond them, vampires differ in many things, such as appearance, strength, or intelligence. According to the later trait, these creatures were categorized as a higher and lower vampires, although the correct division should be intelligent and mindless vampires. High vampires are completely different species. Mindless vampires are typical beasts or individuals with minimal traces of intelligence. Their appearance differs significantly from the human, and every day they are driven by primitive instincts. They are the most numerous representatives of vampires, so it is no wonder that many consider all vampires to be bloodthirsty beasts. Among the mindless vampires, we can name Fladders, Garkines, or Ekimas. Intelligent vampires stand a little higher in the hierarchy and are therefore much more dangerous. Fortunately, they are also a rarer sight than their mindless relatives. They far exceeded them not so much by force as by intellect. It is transferred to a greater range of skills and ways of hunting. Intelligent vampires also have their own culture, and some of them still remember their world from before the conjunction of the spheres. The most important skill of all vampire species of this sort is their ability to take on a human form or form very similar to that of humans. They also have nothing against living among unaware people. Among the intelligent vampires, we can name Bruxas, Alps, Katakans, or Nosferats. There are also higher vampires. These are extremely rare and much more powerful than all other vampires. Blood is to them what alcohol is to humans. Regular consumptions of blood in the right amounts can increase their strength. On the other hand, complete withdrawal of blood, which is decided by few, opens up to interesting possibilities such as reproduction with the other breeds. In combat, they are almost invincible. Superhuman speed, strength, and invisibility combined with high intellect make them ideal killers. Nor they can be killed by silver, magic, or the sun, to which they are completely immune. Some representatives of this species can even freely grasp the burning objects in their hands without harm. Higher vampires can be melted, mutilated, and chopped into the smallest pieces, but thanks to their regenerative abilities, they are able to come back to life. Sometimes it will take a month, sometimes a year, sometimes a few or dozen years, but they will come back. Slightly weakened, but still deadly. Hardly anyone manages to get out of a fight with the higher vampire. let alone defeat him. And there is only one way to kill higher vampire, a different higher vampire. In other words, even an experienced monster slayer should think twice before accepting a contract on one of these creatures, even if half a kingdom and princess hand is in the offing. On a daily basis, however, they do not pose a huge threat to people, because their behavior and way of thinking is nothing like their wild cousins. They often live in cities and lead seemingly normal lives.